Hello, this is Rick Reynolds with AskForensics. Joining me again is Ed Wallace, Managing Director, Human Capital Practice at AchieveNEXT, and the expert on relationships and their roles to succeed. In this video, we cover the power of relationships in maintaining existing business. Our data reveals that strong relationships play a major role in winning. Conversely, the lack of relationships play an outsized role when losing. And losing a rebid is very, very painful. We are finding there's not enough relationship building when this occurs. There's a lack of senior management engagement, and competitors are in seizing that relationship initiative. These really sting when considering these are long-standing customers that selected competitors. So Ed, if you were to advise a strategic account leader on suggestions to retain those accounts and grow them, what would those recommendations be?
So how do we create a mindset for the person we're working with and for ourselves that I'm a business person masquerading as an account manager? It's a subtlety, but when you talk about winning rebids, that doesn't happen when you're doing the rebid.
Right.
That happens, winning that account happens way back when you first auditioned. It happens as you located the relational GPS, and we talked about that in previous episodes, the goals, passions, and struggles of that person. It goes back to the credibility you built over time with the questions you asked. We call those discovery questions. And the way you followed up on those questions, the way you lived up to all your commitments, the way you organized your meetings, you made every interaction matter with that person. So now when it's time for a rebid, the relationship is a given. The relationship piece should be the piece that tips the scale over when you bring all the value from your solutions. So we want to come in with a mindset where we're talking to that person about their business. There's a very low ability on the part of strategic account managers to deliver on the promise and the expectation of that decision maker, because number one, they don't take the time to understand their business. They don't take the time to understand what's going on in the industry. They don't take the time to launch, advance, and sustain the relationship in a very credible way over time with a very long-term view. They don't take a business versus an account management mindset.
This is very interesting, and I'll tie this to an experience we had with a global service provider that handled worldwide business and in logistics. And their focus with their cream of the crop worldwide team, account managers, if you will, but very, very polished and experienced account managers, they wanted the team to have the skill sets and the comfort levels to not only talk at the loading docks, but also with the CFOs. And that takes a lot of resources and a lot of skills to achieve. But what that says is, to your point, understanding the business goals, genuinely understanding them, and having a business discussion. If you're talking to the CFO, you better know enough about financial terms and finances to have a meaningful discussion. And that's a different dialogue than you would have on a loading dock. But nonetheless, you are the face of that organization.
When you're talking to the CFO, and maybe you're a business service company, different scenario. CFO is concerned about retaining employees. CFO is concerned about cash flow. So we can't improve your cash flow. There's a source of value. So what? So what? How does that translate to the language of that CFO? We can ensure that your receivables would be X within 30 days, or whatever it could be, an FP&A, a financial planning analysis. And by the way, every account manager should learn some FP&A, because you should be talking laterally and vertically across the organization. And by the way, the other strategy we suggest all the time, Rick, is get your CFOs meeting each other.
Exactly.
And it never gets done And it amazes me because guess what? Negotiations are easier then. They've got to be put together and they've got to form a relationship because it's all going to flow through both of them no matter which way you go.
Ed, when we do deep evaluations on existing accounts, we find that negative perceptions linger. So oftentimes at the day-to-day levels, the tactical clients, they've moved on. Issues have been resolved, they moved on. But senior executives, they depend on what feeds up to them internally about the provider's performance. And if they heard a year ago that there were significant relationship issues throughout the organization, or whatever the issues could be, they could have been resolved a year ago, but at the leadership level, those are current concerns. And unless you have the vertical, lateral relationships, you will not have those levels of insights that can make the difference between winning and losing a critical account. People move, and relationships at client A, those people could go to prospect B and prospect C. The negatives can carry, but the better thing is the positives can carry. And we've seen great things happen, but we've also seen our clients lose because of poor relationships, poor delivery at an executive's prior employer. So being genuine and instilling that culture as a providing organization, a selling organization, is essential to maintain the fantastic tools that you advocate. Ed, thank you for joining us. We probably went way over, but you always have great insights to share. It's an honor to be with you and to ask the questions and to inject some of my knowledge as well. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to have you with us again in the future at some point again soon.
Thank you for elevating my ego, Rick. Great to be with you as always, my friend. Take care.